Well, in the headlong dash on the part of the dinosaur media to breathlessly report the blazingly obvious, we learned from the LA Times recently that young people are giving up on Barack Obama. Facing appalling job prospects and even more appalling indebtedness, many of them are giving up on or at least scaling back their financial dreams. We here at Trifecta can help these young liberals. We can convince them to become Tea Party conservatives. Joining me now to enjoy the popcorn sounds of young heads exploding all across the great republic are our own Steve Green and Scott Ott. Welcome, lads. Scotty, young people turned out in droves for Barack Obama. They've been told to despise the Tea Party, but it's Obama's policies that have sold out their future, and it's the Tea Party that's the only real voice for fiscal responsibility that actually benefits them downstream. Do you think you could make the case?
Well, yeah, I mean, fat cat capitalist greed heads are a terrible thing until, you know, about May 10th when you're graduating from college and you'd like to work for somebody. You know, I know a young woman who's in that position right now, and she was actually, she got an accounting degree and she was offered a job in her field, and she thought, oh, great, I finally got offered a job. Well, it turns out it would pay $24,000 a year. She's making more than that while waitressing. Yeah, I think that it's the old joke about how you know if you're young and you're a liberal, you know, or if you're a conservative when you're young, you don't have a heart, and if you're a liberal when you're old, you don't have a brain. It applies.
It does. Steve, being 20 is all about rebelling against authority, but if your parents are liberals and your professors are hair-on-fire Marxists, couldn't you convince some 20-somethings that the real rebels are conservatives?
Yeah, well, yeah, but you know, go to any college campus and look at how many students are still dressed up as hippies. This is 43 years after the Summer of Love.
I know, it's like wearing
have been around
suits.
for 30 years, but at least they're hot. Yeah, it's an embarrassment. It's not rebellion. College, it's become a Renaissance fair that costs $40,000 a year to get into. Look. Rebelling is natural. It's part of asserting your independence and separating from your parents and growing up. But do you remember the big selling point of Obamacare? One of them, it was being allowed to stay on your parents' health insurance until you're 26. What a rebel! 26 years old, you know, on the medical version of being in your parents' basement. How's that for sticking it to the man? I guess, you know, the man who wants you to stay dependent, he's living in the White House. So stick it to the man, kids.
There you go. Scotty, you know, we have one or two liberal regulars in our comment section, although personally I'm convinced it's only one with an anonymous sock puppet. They kind of come off like the sort of people that put an apple in a trick-or-treat bag on Halloween. Now, we conservatives, on the other hand, like guns, freedom, manliness, girliness, fast car, big houses, and money. Is this really a hard sell?
Actually, I think they're the kind of people who put hot soup in the Halloween bag. I mean, it's just it's
broth.
Sad. Just ladle it right in there.
Yeah, a thin broth.
You know, what I would love to say to these folks who are coming out, they're discouraged, they see what's happening to the economy, their eyes are maybe enlightened and awakened. Not only get involved in your Tea Party movement, but start to read something, read Adam Smith's Wealth of Nations, anything, but also start something. Don't sit around waiting for somebody to give you a job. Don't sit around just you know, wallpapering resumes out there. Start a company. Get an idea. If you have to work at McDonald's while you're doing it at night, do it. Break free from the system and get something done.
Become a businessman. Exactly right. Thank you, Scotty. You can get all your Scott Ott awesomeness at scottott.org. Steve, it occurs to me that conservatism is a lot like drinking. It's natural, it's fun, and it's good for you. Lay a little vodka pundit Elon down on this one for me, will you?
Well, yeah, the Elon's easy for me. I'm in my 40s and I'm fairly well established now, but it's kind of sad because being a grown-up is great. You get to make the choices. Being a kid means other people choose for you, and you kids today, you're going to have to pay back $17 trillion that you didn't get a choice on how to spend. You're going to have to buy a health insurance plan somebody else chooses for you. Yep. You're going to have to try and start a business like Scott just suggested, but you're not going to be able to get a loan because somebody else chose to crack down on the banks. I hope you like being kids, because if you don't rebel against this government, you're going to be stuck as kids forever.
Well said. Steve Green hosts the Hair of the Dog and Weekend Blog segments here at PJTV. Now, 20-somethings, this may come as a shock, but whether you realize it or not, you've actually been given a great gift. You've been disillusioned with government and politicians and disillusioned early. That's a priceless advantage. Heartbroken to discover that Barack Obama is just a fast-talking politician like everyone else. You lucky bastards. Your grandparents wasted their entire lives pining away for the world that Bobby Kennedy would have created if only he'd lived, but it can't happen. It's like spending your life wishing to be a comic book hero. You can wish all you want to. It's impossible. But what is possible is finding happiness in the free, safe, and prosperous society you were born into. Redistributing other people's wealth into your own pockets will never make you financially stable, rich, and it will certainly not bring you happiness. You have to go out and work for those on your own. And if you listen to what we in the Tea Party say rather than what your professors and Jon Stewart say that we say, you'll find that all we want for you is a world of reasonable taxes, limited intrusions from a competent, small government, minimal regulations, and fiscal responsibility so that you can go out and succeed or fail on your own terms and not on those of some bureaucrats in Washington. In other words, we just want to treat you like adults. Think about it. For PJTV, I'm Bill Whittle.